Welcome to our channel. My name is Tracy. I'm the keeper of the home here at 4D Farms, where we are all about faith, family, home, and farm. I hope you find something on our channel that will encourage you and inspire you on your journey. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit like and subscribe, and be sure to turn that little notifications bell on so you'll get notified every time a brand new video is uploaded. We hope to see you in each and every one. Thanks for watching. Hey y'all, Tracy here with Keeper of the Home at 4D Farms. Not too long ago, I did a reel for Facebook and Instagram and a YouTube short of showing how I like to preserve our herbs, and it was drying, okay? And then, but I'm like, a while later after I did that, I'm like, you know what? I preserve herbs other ways. Maybe they might like to know those ways too, besides just drying them and then crumbling them up and putting them in jars and labeling them, okay, for dried herbs. There is some more ways that I like to preserve not eggs. I like to preserve herbs, okay? So I'm going to show y'all some more of those and just make a video out of it and just recap some things, okay? So I hope y'all enjoy this video and let's get started, okay? Hey y'all, I'm going to recap and repeat what I put in my reel and just tell you like the first way that I like to preserve my herbs is picking my herbs fresh and then just lay them out on a napkin, paper towel, on a cookie sheet, and just leave them out in the air and just start letting them dry. The drier they get, these have been like only a couple of days drying. These have been about a week's worth drying. They're beginning to get crunchy, but I'm going to leave them a little more. The drier they get, the crunchier they get, and you'll be able to you hear it crunching? You'll be able to just do that right between your fingers, and then label you a bottle, and then pour them in your bottle, okay? The second way that I'm fixing to show you how to do some is just simply by taking some ice cube trays and putting your herbs in there. Now on these, this is mint, okay? I like to put mint in cold tea or hot tea just to kind of like soothe the throat, aids digestion, things like that, okay? So I'm going to do some mint in these trays, and I'm going to fill them up with water, okay? And then when I want some ice cold tea or some warm tea, I can just take one of the hot tea, and I can just take some of these ice cubes and just put a bunch in my cold tea, or just maybe put one cube in my warm tea, hot tea, and it won't be so hot, y'all, okay? And then, but like my ice cold tea, taking some ice cubes with the mint in it and just filling my glass up with some minty, fresh, ice cold mint tea. Okay, now you can also use your ice cube trays to get you some herbs and put in there, and y'all just use some olive oil, okay, and make like a oiled herbed cube and then freeze it. Okay, so you would take like basil or rosemary or some other kind of herb that you want to cook with, and put your herbs in there. Then fill the ice cube up, the sails up with, you can use any kind of oil, y'all, that you want to. You can use canola oil, okay? You can use olive oil. You can use coconut oil, the oil of your choice. And then just fill it up, put them in the freezer, okay? Let them freeze. Then, after they're frozen, pop your trays like you do ice cube trays, okay? Then put them in a Ziploc bag and store them. When you get ready to cook with an herb and an oil, okay, if the recipe calls for it, just pop you out a couple of cubes. Throw them in your saucepan and they'll just melt right there, and boom, you've got instant oiled herbs right on hand. You just throw in your pan for sauteing or for cooking, okay? So that is 2 ways right there. I'm going to fill up these cells with my mint, and then I'm going to add water. See, some of these are big, so I only need like 1 leaf per tray. Okay, per cube. Some of the leaves are small, so I might need 2 in a cell. Okay, so I just went over there and picked these fresh while ago. Okay, let's see. Then we will get to another way that you can preserve some herbs. There we go. All right. Oh, there was a few hidden in here. Okay, so I'm just going to start filling up my cubes with some water. And then I'm going to pop these in the freezer, let them freeze. And then I'm going to store these in a Ziploc bag after they freeze. And like I said, add them to my ice cold tea. Having mint on hand is very good, y'all. Like I said, it aids in digestion. It flavors smoothies, teas, warm teas, herbal cough remedies. Okay? All right, so that's one way. All right? So then just recap. Pretend like there's basil in here, and I would go through and I would fill up each cell with oil, okay? And then do the same thing. Pop this in the freezer, let it freeze, crack it, okay? Take them out, store them in a Ziploc bag, use them for it to have that oil and that herb in there at the same time, okay? So let's see, what is another way? Another way is to make an herbal butter for cooking if you don't want to use oil, okay? So I've got a little rosemary here. I'm going to pick off. I'm going to put in my butter, okay? Rosemary, you kind of don't want the stem. If you want the stems, y'all, if it's okay with you, if you want the stems, just run your herbs through a little coffee grinder and make them a little more coarse, okay? And then I'm going to take some thyme. I can run these through the grinder if I wanted to, if the stems didn't bother me. But if the stems bother you, take all your leaves off. That's a whole stick of butter, y'all, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Okay? So try to get as much of the leaves off as possible. This is thyme. I got rosemary. Got a lot of time on my hands. Y'all, that was funny. Okay, maybe y'all didn't think it was funny, but I did. Okay, no pun intended. I got time on my hands. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're just going to get as many. Time is so hard to get all the leaves off, y'all. Okay, so that's where if you wanted to grind it up really fine in a coffee grinder, that would be great, okay? We're just going to make a little butter out of this. Try to get as many leaves off as possible, okay? Let's get some more thyme on our hands. Some of them are easier to get off than others, okay? I think I threw a stem in there. Oh, there's some right there. There's some. Okay, let's see. And then the way that we're going to store these, we're going to mix this up really good next. Oh, come on. Then for our purposes, I can run these through the grinder, okay? A little coffee grinder. Or if you've got like a little pedestal, what's that called? Where it looks like a little bowl and then a little smasher thing, y'all. I don't know what that's called. If y'all know what that's called, please tell me, because I'm not sure what it is called. All right. So let's get this one. Let's get just a little bit more. For our purposes, I would probably run them through the grinder, okay? But if you don't have one, then you're just going to have to pick all these little leaves off, okay? If you like the stems, hey, that's fine. Go ahead and chunk them in there. Just cut them up really fine. You can do basil. You can do rosemary, thyme, anything, y'all. Any herbs of your choice that you want to preserve, like cooking, you can put them in oil or butter, okay? Okay, just for this purposes, I'm going to show you. You just, room temperature butter, y'all, is better. You're just going to stir your butter. Okay? Room temperature butter. So, you're going to do that. I think I want just a little bit more. I want to use as much as I can in here. All right, so we're going to get a few more leaves. I could go over there and get another pinch of rosemary or two, but I'm fixing to show you the last way that I can preserve some, and they will last a while. Okay, so we're going to get just a little bit more. Oh, got a stem in there. Okay. Y'all, this is like, oh, I can smell this thyme, y'all. This smells awesome. Okay, let's get some of that. Okay, think I've got enough. Nope, I want that little bit right there. Then I want, okay, here's a twig I'm gonna get. Yeah, I'm gonna get all this off. So, we're going to stir this up. That was a stick of butter, y'all. And just stir it up real good. Sorry, y'all can't see that. All right, now I'm going to take a little simple jar, okay? And put this in there. Let me raise y'all up just a little bit. I'm going to get a simple jar, okay? And this is going to go in the refrigerator, so that way when I need some, I can just pull it out at any time. Or, y'all, since it's going to be in a container, and if you leave your butter sitting out on the counter anyway, like we do, it's going to be fine. So you're going to take all that butter, and you're going to start putting it in your jar. Just like this. And you've got a lid on it. And you can either place it in the refrigerator, or you can just leave it out on the counter beside your other regular butter. And just know that this is your cooking butter, okay, for recipes, your cooking butter. There we go. There's that last little bit. Now, I will wipe this rim off here in just a minute because that's going to drive me nuts. Okay, that's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to wipe the outside of the rim off. Don't get in my butter. All right, then we're just going to put the lid on. There we go. I wanted it to go down in there further. And just put that on. Right on the top, what kind of herb is in here? This is rosemary and thyme butter. I will write that on here, okay? One last way I like doing my herbs, y'all, is saving jars like this. Saving jars like this and doing this with it, okay? This is going to be an herbal oil too, but it's going to be infused, and it's not going to be frozen, okay? So, let me see which bottle I like best. I think let me see how much oil I got. Probably this one right here is going to have to do. Okay? Stuff your stemmed herbs down in here. Just like this. Okay? Stem and all, because you're going to infuse this in an oil of your choosing. Okay? This stores in a cabinet. I have never seen olive oil go rancid, y'all. Never have. Okay? They use this in the Middle East. They are really adamant about their olive oil, okay? It's one of their richest things, I guess, okay? So we are going to fill this jar up with olive oil and sit and let that infuse. And when I get ready to cook, y'all, oh, y'all, that's going to be oh, man, that was almost perfect, y'all. I got maybe like a teaspoon left. But look at that. Oh, wrong lid. I have an infused oil ready to go. And the longer I let this sit, y'all, the better it's going to be. I can use this in pasta dishes. I can use this in like fish and chicken and stuff like that. And I've already got an herbed oil. Sorry, y'all. I got jars pinging back here. Okay. So you've got your dehydrator. And y'all, you don't have to have a fancy dehydrator to dehydrate herbs. Okay. And then crunch them up or run them through a coffee grinder and then label a jar and put them in there. These are out in the open air, y'all. Easy peasy, okay? Then we covered the ice cubes. If you're doing mint or something that's going to go in a drink or something like that, ice cube trays with water, let them freeze, put them in a Ziploc bag, take them out as you need them. If you want an herbal oil and you want to freeze it instead of doing this, okay? Put some herbs in the cells of the ice cube tray, fill it with your oil, let them freeze, crack them, put them in a Ziploc bag, take them out as you need them. Easy peasy. Or this. Okay? So that is a lot of different ways. Oh, and the butter. Yes, where'd it go? Where'd my butter go? Here it is. Rosemary and thyme butter. Y'all, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways to preserve herbs. Okay? So there you go. There is some ways that we like to preserve. And like I said, you can use oil of your choice. Okay? You can use sunflower oil, coconut oil, canola oil, olive oil, whatever you want. Okay? There's another kind of oil. Not coconut. Coconut oil. Sunflower oil. Oh, y'all, all the vegetable oil. I knew I was forgetting one. So, oil of your choice to either do the ice cubes or do the jars like this. I have a lot of these jars, y'all, so why not? Butters, okay? And I don't think the butter would do too good unless you melted it. And you could melt butter and put in the ice cube trays. If you don't want to use oil, if you would rather use a butter, you can melt your butter. Put your herbs in your ice cube trays, then pour your melted butter in the ice cube trays, then let it hardening up and then freeze it. Do the same thing. So that's 4 ways, y'all, you can preserve herbs and just grab and go, okay? And toss them in that pot or toss them in that tea or whatever. So there's your 4 ways to preserve eggs, y'all. I will see y'all in the next video.